David Beckham was one of the greatest players in football. He was really good at soccer, especially with free kicks and passing. He could make the ball move in amazing ways, like he had some magical touch.
Beckham! That's absolutely brilliant!
People everywhere admired him, thinking maybe God was helping him play so well. He was famous worldwide, and everyone held their breath when he worked his magic on the field. But life has a way of surprising us. In 2010, something happened that changed everything for David Beckham. A serious injury happened, and it felt like all the amazing things he did in soccer might be forgotten. This was a difficult time for him, a big test that could have ended his career. Instead of giving up, David Beckham faced the challenge. He showed incredible strength and kept going, not letting the injury define him. Even though things were tough, he fought until the very end. It wasn't just about the victories anymore, it was about proving that he could overcome tough times. David Beckham's life after the injury is something most people don't know. It's not just about the famous victories or the loud cheers from the crowd. It's about seeing a side of Beckham that's real and relatable. His life teaches us that success isn't only about winning, it's also about facing challenges and coming out stronger. So, let's explore this journey. David Robert Joseph Beckham's story begins in a regular family. His mom and dad were just like many other families, working hard to make a living. His dad fixed kitchens, and his mom was a hairdresser. They weren't super rich, but they had something special, a love for football. Even before David came into the world, his parents had a football connection. They liked it so much that they decided to name David after his dad's favorite footballer, Robert. It was like a sneak peek into the future because little did they know that their son would become a football star too. David didn't waste any time figuring out what he wanted to do. As a kid, he knew he wanted to be a footballer. You can imagine the surprise at school when everyone heard about his dream. "Really, you want to be a footballer as a job?" they asked. It might have seemed a bit strange to some, but for David, it was like following his destiny. His parents unknowingly created the perfect setup for a future football legend. Even when David was just a tiny Beckham, football was already in his blood. From a family working hard to a young boy dreaming big, this was just the beginning of David Beckham's extraordinary journey. David Beckham's mom and dad were not just casual fans of Manchester United, they were super crazy about it. They did something extraordinary. They traveled almost 200 miles to Old Trafford just to watch the team play. It's like driving from one end of a big city to the other just for a football game. That's a lot of dedication. Guess what? David got this deep love for Manchester United from his parents. It was like a family treasure that got passed down to him. Without realizing it, his parents were creating a perfect football player, a prodigy for Manchester United. David didn't just sit around being a fan, he got into the game. He attended a special soccer school run by Bobby Charlton in Manchester. That's where Manchester United, a big football team, noticed him. They saw something special in him, even when he was just a young boy. Imagine winning a chance to train with Barcelona, one of the coolest football clubs around. That's what David did, showing that he was ready for the big leagues. But it doesn't stop there. He joined a local youth team called Ridgeway Rovers, and guess who coached the team? His dad. That's like having your very own coach at home. And get this, he even became a mascot for Manchester United. Can you picture it? Little David, all excited, leading out the big players onto the field. Now, here's a fun fact. While David was going to school, he played for the Brimsdown Rovers youth team for 2 years. During those school years, he was so good that they named him the Under-15 Player of the Year in 1990. It's like being the MVP, most valuable player, of your school. Everyone knows you're the best. David Beckham was showing everyone that he was not just a fan, he was born to play football. Did you know this cool fact about David Beckham? When he was a young chap, he couldn't join the England schoolboys team. Why? Because he was a late developer and had a small size in his early years. Things took a bit more time for him to grow. Can you believe it? The Beckham we know, the football superstar, faced these little challenges when he was starting out. But guess what? None of that held him back. He signed up with Manchester United as a trainee on July 8, 1991. It's like officially joining the big league of football but still being in training, learning the ropes. And here's the interesting part, he didn't stay a trainee for long. Almost right away, he became part of this awesome group of young players. Imagine playing with your friends in a team, and you're all super good. That's what it was like for David. He joined players like Ryan Giggs, Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Nicky Butt, and Paul Scholes. They all had this cool coach named Eric Harrison. Together, these guys helped Manchester United win something big, the FA Youth Cup in 1992. It's like winning the championship for young players, and David Beckham was right there in the mix, showing everyone that he was meant for greatness on the football field. David Beckham's journey to stardom really kicked off when he scored a goal in a super important game, the first leg of the final against Crystal Palace. It was like a dream come true for him, and guess what it earned him? His first time playing with the big stars in Manchester United's first team. Picture this, September 23, 1992. The crowd is cheering, and there's excitement in the air. Beckham, still a bit fresh, gets to play in a League Cup match against Brighton and Hove Albion. But here's the interesting twist, he didn't get officially signed as a professional player until January 1993. That's when Manchester United saw something special in him and said, "Hey, we want you on our team, officially." It's like the beginning of a superhero story. Little did Manchester United know that this boy, who grew up dreaming about playing for the club, would become one of its biggest stars. Imagine, just a little while ago, he was a kid watching games, and now he's out there on the field, making history. Cool, right? September 1994 was a big month for David Beckham. He got his chance to shine in the spotlight for Manchester United. He made his first full appearance for the club's first team in a League Cup match against Port Vale. It's like stepping onto the big stage for the first time, and Beckham was ready to show everyone what he's got. Then, fast forward to December 7, 1994, a significant date. Beckham stepped onto the field for his UEFA Champions League debut, and guess what? He scored a goal in a massive 4-0 victory against Galatasaray. Talk about making an entrance. People started looking at him and thinking, this guy is going places. But you know what's even cooler? In the 1994 to 1995 season, Beckham went on a little adventure to Preston North End. They loaned him there so he could get some hands-on experience. And let me tell you, he didn't disappoint. 2 goals in just 5 appearances, and get this, one of those goals came from a corner kick. That's like scoring a goal from a tricky angle, and it's not something everyone can do. After this impressive loan stint, Beckham returned to Manchester United and made his debut in the Premier League in 1995. It's like he was collecting experiences and skills, ready to take on the football world. Picture this, it's the late 1990s, and David Beckham is like the shining star of Manchester United, recognized as one of Sir Fergie's fledglings. Now, these fledglings weren't actual birds, but a group of young talents handpicked by their manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, in the 1990s. Fast forward to the 1996 to 1997 season, and Beckham is no longer on the sidelines. Nope, he's right there in the thick of things, becoming the first choice for Manchester United. It's like being picked first for a game of soccer at school, a big deal. And let me tell you, Beckham didn't just fill the spot, he owned it. In August 1996, Beckham scored a goal that people still talk about today. Imagine this, he kicks the ball from the halfway line, and it goes straight into the goal. Goalkeepers were left staring, wondering how he managed that. It was a memorable moment, one for the history books. That season wasn't just about that one goal. Beckham played a crucial role in helping Manchester United keep their hands on the Premier League title. He was so impressive that he was voted PFA Young Player of the Year just before the 1997 and 98 seasons. It's like getting an award for being the best young player in the whole league. People were starting to realize Beckham wasn't just a player, he was a game changer. Imagine this, you're playing soccer, and suddenly, you're given the jersey with the number 7 on it. It's not just any number, it's the iconic number 7 worn by legends like George Best and Eric Cantona. Now, that's a big deal. But guess what? Beckham didn't just wear the number, he owned it. He became the powerhouse of Manchester United's team. Picture the 1998 to 1999 season, that was the moment for Beckham. The team went on a historic winning spree, grabbing the Premier League, FA Cup, and Champions League trophies. It's like winning all the medals at the sports day, that's how big of a deal it was. Now, here comes the highlight, Beckham's equalizing goal in the final league match. It wasn't just a goal, it was one for the history books. The kind of goal you'd watch in slow motion and still be amazed. And let's not forget the jaw-dropping win over Bayern Munich. It was like a movie, the kind that keeps you on the edge of your seat, cheering for the hero. That hero? David Beckham, the man of the moment. Now, let's jump to the next season, the 1999 to 2000 season. It's like when things start getting a bit dramatic in your favorite TV show. The locker room, the place where all the players gather, was not as friendly as before. There were issues, like when your friends suddenly stopped talking to each other. Yeah, that kind of vibe. Alex Ferguson, the manager, wasn't too happy. He criticized Beckham, kind of like a teacher scolding a student. And wait for it, fined him too. Imagine if your coach, someone like the boss of your team, throws a shoe at you. Ouch, right?
He would, come out onto the pitch and he'd start taking penalties and taking free kicks, and he'd be telling all of us players how great he was when he played, and how great he was when he played, and the goals he scored, and things like that. But I really, the time when I really got to find out how great it was actually a game against Arsenal, where I think I'd made a couple of mistakes in the game, and he came into the changing room. We had a couple of words, and he started to walk over to me, and he kicked a pile of clothes on the floor, and out came this boot, and it hit me. And then I realised how actually accurate he was.
Then, there's this moment in a World Club Championship match where Beckham got sent off. Imagine playing a game, and suddenly, you're told to leave. Awkward. But hold on, it's not all bad. Despite these bumps in the road, Beckham and the team managed to grab the Premier League title in the 1999 to 2000 season. It's like saying, we might have some issues, but we're still winning games. And winning by a big margin, they weren't just winning, they were winning with style. However, after that season, things between Ferguson and Beckham started going downhill. It's like when you and your best friend start having arguments that just keep getting worse. One big reason, Beckham's commitments outside of football. It's like when you have so much homework, and then you decide to join the drama club and the chess club. Yeah, it can get overwhelming. Fast forward to the 2001 to 2002 season, David Beckham is not just a football star, he's a fashion icon too. Imagine your friend becoming famous for playing soccer but also being super cool in the world of fancy clothes and models. It's like being the hero in a video game who suddenly discovers a new superpower. Now, here's where it gets even more exciting. Beckham helped the club win the Premier League again, and this time, it's not just a win, it's a record margin. It's like acing your exams and then breaking a school record in the same week. Talk about showing off your skills. And hold your breath, Beckham signed a new contract with Manchester United. But this wasn't any contract, this made him the highest paid player in the whole wide world at the time. Picture being the richest person in your school, that's the level we're talking about. With this amazing deal, Beckham had one of his best seasons ever at Manchester United. He scored 16 goals, that's like scoring in almost every game. Goals after goals, just like a winning streak. Beckham got a fancy title, OBE. It's like getting a gold star at school, but way cooler. This star was for all the awesome things he did for football. However, just like when you decide to try a new game, Beckham decided to leave his childhood dream team, Manchester United, in 2003. It's like saying, hey, I'm ready for a new adventure. Now, imagine you're trading your old game for a brand new one. That's what Beckham did. He switched from Real Madrid to LA Galaxy. They paid a whopping $37 million for him. It's like getting the latest game console with all the cool features. Beckham didn't just play the game, he also became a bit of a football ambassador. Imagine spreading the love for your favorite game to different places. Beckham did that, from Los Angeles to East London. He was like a game guru, making football more awesome for everyone. But, hey, every game has its challenges, right? Beckham faced a bit of a tough time at Real Madrid. There were some problems, like being benched or suspended, but he didn't let that stop him. He was also into building his own personal brand. It's like creating your own cool gaming logo. When he played his last match for Real Madrid, it was a big deal. It's like finishing the last level of your favorite game and winning the ultimate prize, in this case, the La Liga title. Real Madrid tried to change the game and keep Beckham, but he had his sights set on a new adventure with LA Galaxy. Okay, let's picture this. You know how sometimes your favorite game gets a major update, making it even more exciting? Well, that's pretty much what happened when David Beckham joined LA Galaxy in the Major League Soccer, MLS. It was like the game got a massive boost, and everyone was talking about it. Imagine Beckham's move to LA Galaxy as the game-changing moment in soccer history, just like when your favorite character joins a new team in a video game. His signing wasn't just a regular event, it was a mega headline worldwide. People were buzzing with excitement, and the MLS suddenly became the coolest league in town. Now, think of LA Galaxy as the underdog team that suddenly skyrocketed to fame. Beckham's arrival wasn't just good news for fans, it also brought in big money. LA Galaxy scored a super deal with Herbalife, a bit like unlocking a special power-up in your game that boosts your score. This sponsorship deal was worth a whopping $20 million. That's like hitting the jackpot in your favorite mobile game. But here's the real kicker, Beckham's presence didn't just boost ticket sales, it created a whole new rule in the MLS universe. It's like inventing a brand new rule in your game that makes it even more thrilling. They called it the Beckham Rule, and it allowed MLS teams to sign star players without worrying too much about salary caps. It's as if the game developers decided to make things more exciting by introducing a special feature just for the top players. David Beckham, our star player, faced some tough times. Despite people talking and saying things about him, he still played a big role in getting his team to the MLS Cup final. It's like when your favorite character faces challenges in the game, but they keep pushing forward to reach that ultimate showdown. Then, boom! 2010 hit, and everything took a sharp turn. During his second time on loan to AC Milan, Beckham had this major problem with his Achilles tendon rupture. It was like a plot twist in a movie or a game. Suddenly, things got really intense. He had to go through surgeries, which is a bit like leveling up in a game. It's tough, but you come back stronger. Now, when Beckham returned, something felt different. It's like when you're playing your favorite game, and the character has been through a lot. They might look the same, but there's a new depth to them. Beckham even trained with Tottenham Hotspur, which got fans all excited. But here's the kicker: rumors of him making a move were stopped, almost like a plot spoiler. The anticipation was high, but the story took an unexpected turn. But wait, there's more to Beckham's story. After winning the 2011 MLS Cup, it was like he leveled up in the game of soccer. Even though his contract with LA Galaxy ended, he decided to stick around. It's like when you finish a chapter but decide to keep reading because the story is just too good. So, in January 2012, he signed up for another 2 years with LA Galaxy. Now, in the 2012 season, Beckham wasn't just playing, he was leading his team to victory. It's a bit like when your favorite character in a game becomes the captain and guides the team to win. And guess what? They did it again, another MLS Cup victory for the Galaxy. But here comes the emotional part. After all the excitement, Beckham announced that the 2012 MLS Cup final would be his last game with the Galaxy. It's like when a series you love comes to an end, and you know it's time to say goodbye to your favorite characters. The fans were sad, but they celebrated the journey Beckham had with the Galaxy. In 2013, Beckham took a short football trip to Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. He signed a 5-month contract with PSG. It's like when your favorite player joins a new team for a short adventure. He played his first game for PSG against Marseille in a Ligue 1 match. But here's the special part: during his time with PSG, David Beckham did something really cool. He didn't keep any of the money he earned. Nope, not a penny. He donated every bit of his salary to a local charity that helps children. Imagine your hero not just scoring goals on the field, but also making a big difference off the field. That's the kind of hero Beckham became. And then came the moment every fan dreads: retirement. At the end of the 2012 to 2013 French football season, Beckham decided it was time to hang up his boots. The stadium, filled with fans from all over, rose to their feet for a standing ovation. It's like when your favorite band finishes their last concert, and the crowd goes wild, showing love for the music they've shared over the years. Beckham left the football stage, but the memories of his incredible journey stayed with the fans. But don't worry, he didn't disappear. He stayed connected to soccer in different ways. After David Beckham stopped playing soccer, he did a lot of different things. He stayed connected to soccer by helping Major League Soccer, MLS, in the United States. Even though he wasn't playing, he wanted to make people in the US love soccer more. Apart from soccer, Beckham started doing things in fashion. He became a famous face off the soccer field too. He's into fashion and has his own style. He became famous for how he dressed, and he even made his own fashion brand. He worked with famous designers and went to big fashion events. People all around the world know him not just as a soccer player but as a stylish guy who knows how to dress well. Beckham didn't stop there. He also became an entrepreneur, which means he did business stuff. He partnered with big brands and invested in different things. From making perfumes to creating clothes, Beckham became more than just a soccer player, he became a businessman too. Let's dive into Beckham's international journey. It's like his adventures on the world stage. He kicked off his career with the England national team on September 1, 1996, in a FIFA World Cup qualifying match against Moldova. Just imagine, stepping onto the field, wearing the national colors for the first time. That's every young footballer's dream. And then, the big moment, the 1998 FIFA World Cup. Beckham left his mark with a stunning free kick against Colombia during the group stage. It was like magic, the ball bending in midair and finding the back of the net. The crowd went wild, and Beckham became a household name not just in England but across the globe. But Beckham wasn't just about goals and assists. In January 2005, he became a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. It's like having a superhero fighting for a cause beyond football, using his fame to make the world a better place. Beckham played a key role in promoting London's bid for the 2012 Olympic Games. Imagine your favorite player not just scoring goals but also being part of making history happen in your city. Now, let's talk about leadership. Beckham was appointed England captain once again in August 2007. Leading the national team, it's like being the captain of a spaceship, guiding your crew through uncharted territories. He earned his 100th cap for England, joining an elite club of football legends. But, alas, a setback, an Achilles tendon injury in March 2010 ruled him out of the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Despite the disappointment, Beckham gracefully stepped back, marking the end of his international journey. The curtain closed on this chapter, but the memories of his skill, passion, and leadership lingered on the international football stage. People often say David Beckham is like the result of Sir Alex Ferguson's tough training at Manchester United. It's like saying he's the star cake baked by a master chef. And, yeah, let's talk about those abs, you can't miss them. He's not just a football genius, he's a good-looking guy too. You know, the kind you can't help but call cute. Now, here's a fun fact. Beckham made history by being the first England player to get 2 red cards. It's like having a bit of a rebellious streak, right? And he wasn't just any player, he was the captain, and he even became the first England captain to be sent off. But here's the twist, people loved him for it. They paid tribute to his infamous side. Ever heard of the movie Bend It Like Beckham? It's not just any movie, it's like a thank you card to David Beckham from the world of football. They even cast Keira Knightley to celebrate his contributions. It's like saying, hey, thanks for inspiring us to bend it like you do. So, Beckham's impact went beyond the pitch, he became a legend both in and out of the football world. What's touching is how much family matters to David Beckham. He has a wife, Victoria, and together they have 4 kids. Now, let me tell you a sweet story. Beckham met Victoria from the Spice Girls after a Manchester United match in 1999. Talk about a fairy tale meeting, right? They got married, and their first child, Brooklyn, came into the world. That special year is even marked with a tattoo on Beckham's body. And get this, he's got over 65 tattoos, each telling a story close to his heart. Now, here's a glimpse into the family life of the Beckhams. After retiring, he spent a lot of time with his wife and his 4 kids. You can spot David doing regular dad stuff, taking his kids to school, cheering them on at their games, supporting their kids in whatever they did, and just enjoying some quality family time. It's like, yeah, he's this global soccer sensation, but he's also the dad next door. Beckham showed that even though he was famous, he could still be a regular dad. Beckham is not just a soccer star, he's practically a walking billboard. You can see his face on major brands and events, making him one of the most easily recognizable celebrities around. And get this, the Beckham family is even close to the royal family of England. It's like having your soccer star and royalty in one package. Now, that's a power family, isn't it? As the years went by, Beckham became more famous. He represented British culture and style around the world. He did a lot of different things in entertainment, appearing on talk shows, being in documentaries, and working on projects about his life. People got to see more of who he was beyond just a soccer player. Even though Beckham had many successes, he also faced tough times. Being famous brings challenges and sometimes bad things in the news. But Beckham handled everything well and kept going. Later on, Beckham wanted to be part of soccer again, but this time as an owner. He became part of the group that owns Inter Miami CF, a soccer team in the US. This showed that he still loved soccer and wanted to help it grow, even though he wasn't playing anymore. In the end, David Beckham's life after soccer was like a big adventure. He did lots of different things, showing that he could be successful in many areas. From soccer to fashion, business, and helping others, Beckham's life after retirement was a story of growth and making a mark on the world. If you ever see one of the greatest free kicks of all time, it's Beckham's. You know when you watch a soccer game, and suddenly there's this jaw-dropping free kick that bends them like magic? Well, that's the kind of wizardry Beckham brought to the field. Picture this, a right-footed maestro bending shots that made you question the laws of physics. He stepped onto the scene in 1998, and let me tell you, the way he played with that ball was nothing short of a spiritual journey. Beckham, with his mesmerizing skills, changed the way we all looked at football. Players like him? Once in a lifetime. Watching him in action? Pure magic.